So here's my response to the video that you see in the background. Basically, in this video, you had this white man speaking out against the black church. And he starts off by saying, people are going to call me racist for saying this and that, but I don't care, basically. And then he goes on to talk about how a prominent black pastor endorsed Kamala Harris, and he talks about how the black church in general endorses Democrats. And he goes on to say that if you vote for Kamala Harris, you're voting for homosexuality. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you're voting for transgenderism. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you're voting for murder. And by murder, he's referring to abortion, obviously. And then he goes on to say how the Democrats are a party that's against God. And, he's saying that you can't be a good Christian and a Democrat at the same time. So here's my response to what he had to say. First of all, I think he's out of place and out of order to attack black Christians and tell them what they need to do when it comes to politics. This is a prime example of someone politicizing and weaponizing religion. God is not a Democrat or a Republican, but it's like people try to make religion or even fashion God to fit their political narrative or their political agenda, and that's exactly what this man is doing. And one of the things that I find to be despicable is this selective righteousness that people tend to have. They want to be righteous on some issues, but then wicked on other issues. They want to condemn the Democrats for supporting gay rights and all this and that, and they condemn the black church for this and that. But these same people, while they are all fire and brimstone when it comes to certain things, it's like they ignore other aspects of Christianity or righteousness. Like for instance, concern about your fellow man, concern about treating others, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. The concern for the poor and the needy, those types of things are not even considerations. While people like him speak out against abortion, and they call that murder, they have nothing to say when it comes to war. A lot of times, these self-righteous individuals are only concerned with life when it's in the womb, but they have no concern for life when it's out of the womb. These are the same people that have no problem supporting the death penalty. These are the same people that rally behind the flag when this nation invades countries. These are the same people that are defending Israel as Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people. So it's selective righteousness. It's cherry picking what concepts in religion you're going to accept. The same criticism that you are pointing towards the black church can be pointed towards your church as well, towards these right-wing Republicans who have no compassion when it comes to meeting neighborly needs, when it comes to addressing the needs of the poor, when it comes to that. Because we all know that the Republican Party is a corporate party. It is a party that's about the rich. And it's a party that's all about promoting interests that are in the best interests of the rich and wealthy. So that's one thing. The other thing is this. People like this, completely ignore the question of character and integrity. While they espouse all these religious virtues and values, they are glossing over other things such as character and integrity. They have nothing to say about the fact that Donald Trump has been convicted of fraud. They have nothing to say about that, and how that matches up with their moral code or their religious beliefs. They have nothing to say about the crude comments that Donald Trump made about women. They have nothing to say about that. They have nothing to say about the racism of Donald Trump. Nothing to say about that. They have nothing to say about the disrespectful comments he's made. They have nothing to say about, his sexual indiscretions, his lack of character, his lack of morals. They have nothing to say about that. So as far as I'm concerned, people like him are full of hypocrisy. And it's just a shame that to see people weaponize religion the way they do. They want to use and twist religion to serve their political objectives. While he has so much to say about the black church, he has nothing to say about a man that jokes about sexually assaulting women. They have nothing to say about a man that has been charged with assaulting women, sexually abusing women. They have nothing to say about a man that makes crude comments about women and crude comments about people in general. Nothing to say morally about a man who mocks veterans, who sacrificed their lives and their well-being for this country. But yet they have so much to say. And, as far as these issues of these moral issues of sexuality and all that kind of stuff, the role of government is not to establish a state religion. It's not to establish, a quote-unquote moral code according to any particular religion. One of the roles of the state is to give people freedom. And it is up to the individual to make their own moral decisions. It's not the role of government to serve as moral police in society. If you are against gay marriage, don't have a gay marriage. Don't get married to this person of the same sex. If you're against abortion, don't abort. Don't engage in abortion. But don't impose your religious beliefs on society. And just as you speak out against the black church for ignoring certain things, when it comes to some of the doctrine of the Bible or of Christianity, you have to look at yourself in a mirror and take into account all the things that you are ignoring when it comes to those Republicans. And there's one other thing that I wanted to mention, and that's the fact that him singling out the black church is racist, because the fact of the matter is every issue that he talked about can be applied to many white churches. There are many white churches that support gay rights. There are many white churches that support a woman's right to choose. Many white pastors and many white churches that do all that. So for him to single out the black church speaks to his racism. It speaks to his arrogance. And the last thing I'll mention is this, just because someone supports the Democrats, they decide to vote for the Democrats or they decide to vote for Kamala Harris, that doesn't mean that they agree with the party or the candidate on every single issue. It's just a matter of realizing that some issues are more important than other issues. There are so many issues in this election: voting rights, dealing with police brutality and racial profiling, protecting the social safety net, when it comes to different programs. Education is another prime issue. There are so many issues. Foreign policy is another issue. So many issues. And so for you to narrow things down to just a couple of issues and putting pressure on black people to vote just on a couple of issues that really don't affect the vast majority of black people is absurd.